I'm not standing up the stream now because I have terrible blisters on my feet. Yay! Who doesn't love that? We're here for part 2 of the horror of reading Frankenstein. Um, but first, welcome to Raven's Dictionary Corner, which which exists because last stream there was some words where I was like, "What the fuck is this word?" And I had to look them up before this stream so I could be. This is what it actually meant. Because one thing she loved, it's a big word, and the word adore. Here are the weird words and their meanings. We had panegyric, which apparently is a word that means a speech where you say good things about someone. Love that that happened. Love that. We just need an entire word to explain. Apparently, it comes from ancient Greece because of course. That's a high ad. And then we have encomium, which means the praise of a person or thing. What a great word. Then we had execrated. That means to feel or express great loathing for someone or something. And then the last one was dilatoriness, which means slow and likely to cause delay. And thus ends Dictionary Corner. Happy Spooktober to you too. It's great to see you. I haven't been around for ages. And I really missed everyone. I hope you've been alright. I just lost what I was going to say there. It literally just wandered out of my mind. But yes, we are starting at chapter 9 of Frankenstein tonight. I literally just uploaded last week's stream to YouTube with some edits to make it less horrifying to listen to. Deleted some just real big gaps in me not speaking. And I made some clips. I hope you're feeling bad. Like you'll feel better soon. Because we just hate it when life is just like, here's all these bad things for you, or like you just out of nowhere just feel awful, and you have to grab hold of that cliff and climb back up. Not everyone. Me editing and uploading VODs. Never. It's mostly so that I don't have to keep them on my PC. And I can look back and be like, look how awkward I was back then. Like if you ever go back and listen to anything. Um, it's like super early on that I made on that channel. Ugh. My greatest ever piece of work, where I analysed the social structure of the Thomas the Tank Engine universe. My voice, my speaking is very stilted in that. C'est la vie. Indeed. Everyone, everyone that I know that's working is so miserable in work, and everyone who isn't working is so miserable not being in work until we're eventually in work, and then we too will be miserable. It's just an eternal cycle of miserableness. But there is joy to be found. I think how depressing that went. It's all sadness until it isn't. Until you find something that helps. Oh, I hate the word adulting so much. Shall we go to the other screen where hopefully everything is still alright because I had to resize all my screens for a while. Reading. Hello, it's me. I'm reading to you. The series of unfortunate events. The movie of that was so weird, especially if you're me and watched it without having any exposure to the book series. And I don't think I've ever finished reading the books, even though I have them on my shelf. That was meant to be a thing that I was going to do this year, is read books that I have and see whether I want to keep them or not, because I have too many books. I'm glad that there is a good adaptation, though, because there's so many. There's so many adaptations where they're like, "Oh, you actively hate the people who like the book." I see that. Like, I don't know how anyone else feels about Rings of Power, but uh, uh, it's so fanficky. And I say this as a fanfic, right? But also, you can. It's just, how can you be brave enough to make an adaptation of the Second Age of Middle Earth and not be brave enough to give dwarven women beards as they canonically have? True. The only good bit about it is the dwarves. We love dwarf lore, but also, what happened? Give me beards. Give me beards. Be brave. They have like genuine chemistry. I don't. The whole bit where they're like, who is this guy? Who could he possibly be? Who could it? Who could he possibly be? It couldn't be Sauron. Oh, he couldn't be Sauron. This guy who's exactly like Sauron. Couldn't be him at all. I mean, if you have no exposure to like anything other than Lord of the Rings, then yeah. But like also, uh, I've seen parts of the second season, but enough for me to be like, why am I doing this to myself? Why? I do enjoy all the fanfic that has uh come out of it though, in that people are like, let's let's make Silmarillion fanfic again. Let's hide canon this differently. Let's actually remember how Celebrimbor dies in canon because it's really, really horrifying. I think I don't. I think it's fully worth watching if you if you did it with someone like how we did the Twilight series where you had a lot of people who like are fully willing to death and be like, yeah, that's not how this happened. Iron Crown of Sauron. Sauron's never had an Iron Crown. Someone else had an Iron Crown though. some some uh some bad guy with an Iron Crown. It wasn't him. Might have been his boss though. uh, can you tell that Lord of the Rings used to be my number one special interest, and I used to have so much information off the top of my head. I am the Eye of Sauron. I am the mouth of Sauron. I am the crown of Sauron. I am the couch of Sauron. And since I'm not doing NaNoWriMo like officially this year because they're like, AI, that's fine. Uh, I've been writing down a lot of notes for fanfic that I want to write because my brain is like, Silmarillion fanfic, tasty, tasty ideas we've got here. And some of them are just genuinely me writing that I need a cat AU where all the characters are cats. Or like, what if one of the sons of Fëanor was kidnapped by hobbits and taken to like the Shire and forced to sit through a tea party with the hobbits. And then I wrote one recently that was, um, what if like hobbits constantly get in trouble? Hobbits constantly find dangerous shit and then have it not affect them whatsoever, and everyone else be like, "Oh my god, what is this? What is this power they have?" Um, and they collect things, and they're like, family heirloom, family heirloom, uh, stuff. I was like, My brain was just like, What if the Silmarils are in the Shire and nobody knows because they're just like, shiny rock. Shiny rock that's never caused a problem. And then one day Gandalf turns up and is like, what the fuck? I thought we threw this in the sea. I thought that someone else threw this into a volcano. Why are they here? They just find like every terrifying artifact of history is just like in in their museum, and they're just like, this knickknack that great aunt Gertrude gave me. I did once read a fic where Sauron and Morgoth are forced to go to family therapy with all the other the other Ainu and Maya. Meowron. Meow. I mean, his original name is close enough. His original name's Myron, so it's not that far away from Meowron. These are thoughts I have on the bus on the way home from places. It's like, write that down, write that down, write that down. It's genius, write it down, write it down, write it down. So now I just have this big packet of ideas for November. And I'm like, I wonder how much, if any, of this ever gets written. But we can try. We can try. Just horrify people online with twisted thoughts of my brain. I'm thinking of twisted thoughts of someone's brain. Segue. Totally normal segue happening right now. It's not cancelled. It's just they did a thing that annoyed me where they said that you could use generative AI to do NaNoWriMo, and if you were against people doing that, then you were racist, ableist, and classist for saying that. And I was like, no, no, that's not how that works. Uh, let's come back when you've like figured out how you want to reword that. Because I'm not going near that with the 10-foot barge pole. Because ew. Yeah. So I'm still gonna write 50,000 words in November, but I'm just not gonna call it NaNoWriMo. um, yeah. And it's really weird because it's only the third time that a won't have took place in NaNoWriMo since 2013. That is terrifying. Doesn't mean you can't still do it. Um, it's one of those things where like everyone has to think about their own personal experience and their own thoughts, and it also doesn't mean that you can't not still do it and just not call it that. Which is what I'm doing. Uh, but I would I would still be totally happy to like hang out and talk about writing during November if you want to. If you need a buddy, I will be unhingedly putting updates in my Discord, like writing part of the Discord, like just randomly telling people stuff that annoys me about my characters, or like when I go on a random tangent, and it's just like, okay, I guess we have a bread museum now. That's what this chapter is going to be about. And then I have to like actually figure out what bread to put in it. Hmm. I think definitely like generative AI and AI in general generally has a place in society. I just think that it needs to be more defined and like what can like we haven't defined like the morals behind it and like what we're okay with it scraping and what isn't okay and who then has control of that and copyright and stuff like that. And like while that all that this is like up in the air and everyone's worried about it, it's not the best time to be like, yeah, our thing that's about using your imagination and like developing your writing skill, you can use generative AI for that. That's fine with us. It's just a weird take for them to go on. Or if they were like, oh, we're okay with it using like AI prompts or like having parts of it or whatever. But talk about generative AI, the stream collapses. Oh no. I guess that's a sign to shut up and read the book. Anyway, to segue, uh, Frankenstein. Speaking of AI, how about galvanism? That involves electric